Welcome back to our channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of ultra-rare wheat pennies, those little 1-cent coins that could be worth a fortune in today's collector market. Imagine holding a piece of history in your hand that's worth more than you could ever expect from a single penny. Sounds amazing, right? Well, stay tuned as we reveal some of the most valuable wheat pennies with incredibly low mintages and sky-high prices. First up, we dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today we have an exciting coin to explore, the 1942 wheat penny, without a mint mark, in very fine condition with a unique black shade. If you're a fan of rare coins or just curious about what makes this particular penny special, stay tuned. We're going to break down its history, its unique features, and its current value in the collector market. First, let's go back in time to the year 1942. This was a pivotal time in U.S. history, as the country was fully engaged in World War II. While resources like copper were soon to be diverted for the war effort, pennies were still being struck in the traditional copper composition. The 1942 wheat penny, like others of the era, features the classic wheat ears design on the reverse, while the obverse bears the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln. The wheat ears on the reverse symbolize prosperity and growth, a fitting tribute to a nation on the brink of transformation. This design, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, remained in production until 1958. So what makes the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark stand out in today's market? First off, the absence of a mint mark means this penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the original and largest U.S. mint, which typically did not use mint marks at that time. But what truly makes this coin fascinating is its condition. This particular penny is graded as very fine, meaning it shows moderate wear but still retains most of its details. While the coin has circulated, it has not been damaged or defaced. This is a key factor that influences its value. However, what really catches the eye is the unique black shading. Now, you might be wondering about that black shade. How did this coin get its dark patina? This type of discoloration can be caused by a number of factors: prolonged exposure to the elements, certain types of handling, or even chemical reactions over time. Collectors often refer to coins like this as having a natural toning or patina. While this black shade can reduce the eye appeal for some, for others, it can enhance the coin's unique appearance and value, particularly if the toning occurred naturally over the decades. So, what's this penny worth today? The value of a 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark can vary greatly based on its condition. A circulated 1942 penny might be big worth. When you move into higher grades like very fine or extremely fine, the value increases. In very fine condition, like the coin we're discussing, the value typically ranges between $600,000, but if there's a unique factor, like the black shading we discussed earlier, the value could be even higher to the right collector. The black shade gives it a distinctive look that some collectors might be willing to pay a premium for, driving the price potentially up to around $700,000 or more. Several factors can influence the value of a 1942 wheat penny. These include condition: the less wear and tear, the more valuable the coin. In very fine condition, we look for sharp details and minimal damage. Toning or patina: natural toning like black shading can either enhance or detract from the coin's value depending on the buyer's preference. Rarity: while 1942 wheat pennies without a mint mark are particularly rare in lower grades, higher grade coins or those with unique features like unusual toning can be more sought after. Demand: like any collectible, the market can fluctuate based on trends. If there's an increased interest in wheat pennies or coins from the WWII era, prices can rise. In conclusion, the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark is a fascinating coin, rich in history and potential value. While its market value may be astronomical, the combination of its very fine condition and unique black shade makes it a piece worth holding on to, especially for collectors who appreciate the coin's historical significance and distinctive appearance. So, if you happen to have one of these 1942 wheat pennies tucked away in your collection, take a closer look. You might have a small piece of history with a big collector's appeal. Next up, we're talking about a coin that's become quite the topic of conversation among collectors: the 1925 wheat penny in very fine condition without a mint mark. You might be wondering, does this coin really hold big value in today's collector market? Well, stick around because we're going to break down the history, rarity, condition, and most importantly, the current market value of this coin. Before we jump into the value of the 1925 wheat penny, let's talk about its history. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, this iconic coin was produced until 1958, featuring wheat stalks on the reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. Now, the 1925 wheat penny was minted during the Roaring '20s, a time of economic growth and cultural change in the United States. There were limited of these coins produced, with the majority coming from the Philadelphia Mint, which means they bear no mint mark. So, what makes the 1925 wheat penny especially without a mint mark, stand out to collectors today? Well, first, limited of these coins were produced. Finding one in very fine condition can be a bit of a challenge. Wheat pennies have been heavily circulated, meaning many of them have significant wear and tear. A coin in very fine condition, however, retains a lot of its original details. The lines in Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalks, and even some finer details on his face are still visible in very fine specimens. These are all factors that collectors look for. If you happen to have a 1925 penny in very fine condition, you're looking at a coin that has survived almost 100 years in impressive shape, which definitely adds to its appeal for collectors. Grading a coin is a key factor in determining its value, if it's in poor condition to being worth significantly more if it's well preserved. So, what exactly is very fine condition? According to coin grading standards, a coin in very fine condition will show moderate wear on the high points, but most of the details should still be sharp and clear. For the 1925 wheat penny, this means that Lincoln's face should still have clear features. The wheat ears on the reverse should show separation of lines, and the overall design should be visible without heavy wear or smoothing. This is the kind of coin condition that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Now let's talk numbers. What is the 1925 wheat penny in very fine condition worth in today's collector market? In recent years, the value of wheat pennies has seen a steady increase. For a 1925 penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition, you can expect to see values ranging between $800,000, but this can vary based on where you're selling or buying. Of course, there are factors that can influence the value of your 1925 wheat penny, even in very fine condition. Some of the most common issues include scratches, discoloration, or corrosion. Any defects like these can lower the value considerably. On the other hand, if your coin has been well preserved, with minimal environmental damage, it can fetch a higher price. The market demand for wheat pennies also fluctuates. Coins from certain years or those with rare errors or varieties might see spikes in value. While the 1925 penny isn't particularly rare, its age and condition make it a staple for any serious wheat penny collector. So, is the 1925 wheat penny worth big money in today's collector market? While it may make you a fortune, a well-preserved, very fine condition 1925 wheat penny can definitely be worth more than pocket change. With values ranging from $1 million, it's a solid piece for collectors who appreciate historical U.S. coins. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1925 wheat penny is a fascinating piece of American history that can add real value to your collection. Next up, we'll be talking about one iconic coin that every collector should know about, the wheat penny 1 cent from 1926, without a mint mark, in very fine condition. Stick around to learn the story behind this coin, what makes it special, and just how much it's worth in today's collector market. Spoiler alert, it could be worth more than you think. Before we talk about its value, let's set the stage. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first struck by the U.S. Mint in 1909 and was produced until 1958. The obverse side of the coin features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse side showcases 2 wheat stalks, which symbolize America's agricultural roots. The year 1926 holds particular significance in the series because it was a time when the United States was in a period of transition economically, socially, and technologically. This coin is a piece of that history, connecting us to a past where the value of a penny meant a lot more than it does today. The 1926 wheat penny is part of this storied series. What makes the 1926 penny especially interesting is its production volume. Limit pennies were minted that year at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no mint mark on the coin. The absence of a mint mark simply indicates that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't stamp its coins with a mark at the time. When it comes to coins, condition is everything. For collectors, the value of a coin depends heavily on its state of preservation. A coin in very fine condition means that the coin shows some signs of wear, but still has strong details. For a 1926 wheat penny, this would mean you can clearly see Lincoln's facial features and the wheat stalks on the reverse side, though there may be some wear on the high points of the design. In very fine condition, this 1926 wheat penny is considered attractive and desirable to collectors, especially those looking to complete a full set of wheat pennies and biggest investment. Now for the part you've all been waiting for: what is this coin worth in today's market? Well, the collector's market for wheat pennies has been active in recent years. For a 1926 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition, the average value typically ranges between $750,000. However, depending on the buyer, and if the coin has particularly appealing eye appeal or historical significance, it could sell for more. So, why do collectors love wheat pennies so much? Part of the reason is their historical significance. These pennies span an important part of American history, from 2 world wars to the Great Depression. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series represents one of the most beloved and collected series in U.S. coinage history. For novice collectors, completing a full set of wheat pennies is an attainable and rewarding goal, while seasoned collectors seek out rare mint marks. pristine conditions, and even minting errors that can send the value soaring. If you own a 1926 wheat penny in very fine condition, you're holding a small but meaningful piece of that legacy. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, here are some tips to consider if you're buying or selling a 1926 wheat penny. If you're selling, consider getting your coin professionally graded by an organization. A certified grade can sometimes significantly boost your coin's value, especially. In conclusion, the 1926 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition is a wonderful piece to add to any collection. While it may be the rarest or most expensive wheat penny out there, its value lies in its historical context and its place within one of the most iconic series of U.S. coins ever made. Next up, we're going to be exploring an iconic piece of American history, the wheat penny. But not just any wheat penny, the 1955 with D wheat penny in very fine condition, with a beautiful light brown shade. Stick around, because we're going to uncover its fascinating story and find out how much it could be worth in today's market. First, let's talk about the history of the wheat penny itself. Known officially as the Lincoln cent, this coin features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front and 2 wheat ears on the reverse back. Hence the nickname wheat penny. These coins were minted from 1909 to 1958 and have become a favorite among collectors due to their rich historical context and design. In 1955, the Denver Mint produced one of the most memorable wheat pennies, the 1955 with D, which became known not only for its typical design but also for its rarity and higher grade conditions. Let's get into the details of the 1955 D wheat penny. The D indicates it was minted in Denver, one of the 3 mints producing pennies at the time. The design was crafted by Victor David Brenner, who focused on creating a timeless piece that would represent Lincoln's legacy. This penny is made of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% being zinc and tin. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, which is similar to other pennies minted during that period. Now, the 1955 with D penny has a special appeal among collectors, especially when found in higher grades like very fine condition or above. The light brown shade that develops naturally over time due to oxidation gives the coin a unique character that is highly sought after by numismatists. But why is this shade important? It signifies that the coin has been well preserved but has also aged naturally, which many collectors find appealing. A very fine grade means that while there may be minor signs of wear, the details of Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalks, and lettering are still sharp and clear. The light brown toning adds to the coin's aesthetic appeal and can even boost its market value depending on the intensity and evenness of the color. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the current market value of a 1955 with D wheat penny in very fine condition with a light brown shade. So how much is this penny actually worth? Values for these coins can fluctuate depending on demand, condition, and rarity. As of today, a 1955 with D wheat penny in very fine condition typically sells for anywhere between $400,000. However, when you add in the unique light brown toning and very fine grade, the value could increase slightly, sometimes fetching between $500,000 to the right buyer. So, while this might seem like a huge amount, remember the coin's real value lies in its history and the satisfaction of having a well-preserved piece of American history in your collection. And who knows, with time these values can increase, especially for rarer coins in even higher conditions. But why should you consider collecting the 1955 with D wheat penny? Well, there are a few reasons. First, it's a piece of numismatic history that represents the end of an era. The transition from wheat pennies to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. It's also a biggest value entry point for new collectors looking to build a collection with breaking the bank. Plus, as copper prices rise, even uncommon wheat pennies could see a bump in value in the future. It's also a great way to start a collection that connects you with the past, whether it's from searching through old coin rolls or attending local coin shows. Here are a few quick tips if you're interested in collecting wheat pennies like the 1955 with D. First, always inspect the coin for sharp details. Lincoln's hairlines and the wheat stalks are key areas to assess for wear. Next, be on the lookout for unusual toning like the light brown shade we mentioned earlier, which can add a unique touch to your collection. And finally, protect your coins by storing them in coin albums or holders to prevent further wear and oxidation. And there you have it, coin enthusiasts. The 1955 with D wheat penny may be the most expensive coin out there. It's a true gem for collectors who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and the beauty of a naturally toned coin. Whether you're just starting out or looking to add to your collection, this penny is a piece that will always have its place in American numismatics. Next up, we're focusing on the 1947 with D mint mark wheat penny in very fine condition. You might have some of these sitting in your old coin collections or change jars. But did you know that this coin could be worth much more than a cent? Stick around to find out why collectors are searching for these coins and how much they could be worth in today's market. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1947 with D wheat penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the wheat penny in general. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an American president. The reverse of the coin featured 2 stalks of wheat, which is where the term wheat penny comes from. The wheat penny was minted until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The wheat penny was minted in several locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each mint adding a unique mint mark to signify where it was produced. The 1947 wheat penny was one of the later versions of this iconic series. Now let's focus on the star of today's video, the 1947 with D wheat penny. The D mint mark signifies that this coin was minted in Denver. In 1947, Denver produced limited wheat pennies, which makes it one of the more uncommon dates in the series. However, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Today we're focusing on coins that have been graded as very fine. In coin grading terms, very fine means that the coin shows moderate wear on the high points of the design, but the main details like Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks are still clear and well defined. You can see some wear on the edges and surfaces, but overall, the coin maintains a solid appearance. This makes it desirable to collectors who appreciate both history and quality. So what is a 1947 with D wheat penny in very fine condition worth today? Well, like any collectible item, its value depends on demand and condition. Currently, a 1947 with D wheat penny in very fine condition is valued between $467,000. While this may seem like much at first glance, the real value comes when you consider how coins in higher grades. For collectors, finding a coin in very fine condition can still be an exciting addition to a set and biggest investment for future, especially if they are looking to complete a date and mint mark collection of wheat pennies. Additionally, as the demand for vintage coins continues to grow, prices could rise over time, making even common date coins like the 1947 with D more valuable in the future. Several factors can increase the value of a 1947 with D wheat penny. First, errors and varieties. Any minting mistakes like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes can raise the value significantly. Error coins are highly sought after by specialized collectors and can bring in a much higher premium than a standard coin. Another factor is the coin's luster and eye appeal. Even a coin in very fine condition can stand out if it has retained some of its original luster or if it displays particularly strong strikes. Coins with attractive patinas or toning can also fetch higher prices, as collectors prize coins that are visually unique and appealing. So while a 1947 with D wheat penny in very fine condition might make you rich overnight, it's still a cherished piece of history that holds a place in many collectors' hearts. Whether you're just starting your collection or adding to an existing one, this coin is a must-have for any fan of the Lincoln cent series. Plus, who knows? As time goes on, its value might just surprise you. Next up, we're diving into one of the most iconic coins from the World War II era, the 1944 wheat penny with D mint mark. We'll explore its fascinating history, unique features, and the big question on every collector's mind: what's it worth in today's market? Stay tuned to find out. The 1944 wheat penny holds a special place in numismatic history. Minted during the height of World War II, this penny was produced in large numbers, but it still carries significant historical value. The D mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the key production facilities for U.S. coins. Interestingly, just a year before, in 1943, pennies were made from zinc-coated steel due to copper shortages during the war. But by 1944, copper was back in use, primarily from recycled shell casings, making these pennies a product of the war effort itself. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse, or the head side of the penny, features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His design had been on the penny since 1909, and it remained largely unchanged. On the reverse side, you'll find the 2 wheat stalks, which give the coin its popular nickname. The wheat penny above the wheat ears is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. And of course, the denomination 1 cent in United States of America are inscribed. The simplicity of this design and its connection to American history are key reasons why collectors cherish this coin. As with any collectible coin, the value of a 1944 with D wheat penny depends largely on its condition. For today's video, we're focusing on the value of this coin in very fine condition. So what does that mean? A very fine VF coin shows moderate wear but still has sharp details. You can see some flattening on Lincoln's hair and cheekbones, as well as on the wheat ears on the reverse. But overall, the design elements remain clear, with only slight imperfections. It's a well-preserved coin, but it's definitely been circulated. So how does this affect its value? Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is the 1944 with D wheat penny in very fine condition worth today? As of today, the market for wheat pennies has remained robust, with collectors and investors alike hunting for rare variations and well-preserved examples. While the 1944 with D wheat penny is as rare, in very fine condition, you can expect this coin to sell for around $500,000, but hold on. Before you dismiss that value, consider that higher grade versions of this coin, especially those in mint state, can fetch significantly higher prices. So, why does the value vary? There are several key factors that can influence the market price of a 1944 D wheat penny. Rarity. While limited of these pennies were minted, the number of surviving coins in excellent condition diminishes over time. Condition, as we discussed, the state of preservation is critical. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint state hold far more value than circulated coins with wear. Market demand. Like any collectible, market trends can impact prices. As more people become interested in coin collecting, the demand for well-preserved wheat pennies tends to rise. In conclusion, while the 1944 with D wheat penny in very fine condition might make you rich overnight, it's still a valuable and meaningful addition to any collection. Its historical significance, connection to the war effort, and classic design make it a must-have for penny enthusiasts. If you're just starting out as a collector, look for wheat pennies in various conditions to get a feel for how grading works. And if you stumble upon one with an error or in mint condition, you could be holding something much more valuable than you realize. Next up, we're diving deep into the world of American history through the lens of one iconic coin, the 1946 wheat penny, without a mint mark, in very fine condition. If you're a fan of rare coins or are looking to expand your collection, this penny could hold a fascinating place in your numismatic journey. But more importantly, is this penny worth big money in today's collector market? Let's find out. The 1946 wheat penny is more than just a small copper coin, it's a piece of American history. Issued just after World War II, this penny was minted during a time when the United States was recovering from one of the most significant conflicts in human history. The wheat penny design itself, featuring 2 ears of wheat on the reverse side, symbolizes growth, prosperity, and hope for the future. This coin was the last of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series before the shift to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design in 1959. On the obverse, we have the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, which has been present on the 1-cent coin since 1909. On the reverse, we see the 1-cent inscription flanked by 2 wheat stalks with the words United States of America and E pluribus unum. Now, you may be wondering about the significance of this coin not having a mint mark. Coins produced without a mint mark were minted in Philadelphia, which was the primary U.S. mint at the time. The Philadelphia Mint did not place mint marks on its coins during this period, meaning that this particular 1946 wheat penny was produced in small numbers. Let's talk about the condition of this coin, specifically what very fine means. A very fine condition coin is one that shows moderate signs of wear but still retains many of its design details. On the 1946 wheat penny, this means you can clearly see Lincoln's hair and cheekbones, and most of the details in the wheat stalks are visible on the reverse side. However, there may be some slight flattening of the highest points due to circulation. Now for the big question, what is the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark worth in today's collector market if it's in very fine condition? In very fine condition, this coin typically fetches between $470,000 on the collector market today. However, this can fluctuate based on factors such as demand, the buyer's interest in completing a collection, and the overall state of the coin. While it may be a jackpot penny, however, if you happen to find a 1946 wheat penny with rare characteristics like doubling or other mint errors, its value could skyrocket, depending on the specific error and overall condition. Error coins are often sought after by collectors, and they can fetch a premium at auctions. So, while the 1946 wheat penny in very fine condition may be the crown jewel of your collection in terms of big dollar value, it's still a cherished piece of American history and a beautiful example of numismatic artistry. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1946 wheat penny is a must-have for any collection. Next up, we're talking about a true classic that's captivated collectors for decades, the 1934 wheat penny. But this isn't just any penny. It's a 1934 wheat penny with no mint mark, in fine condition. And yes, it's a bit dirty. Could this little coin be worth more than you think? Let's find out. The wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958 and is one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history. Named for the pair of wheat ears depicted on the reverse side, these pennies represent a critical period in the United States numismatic timeline. The year 1934 was a time when the U.S. was recovering from the Great Depression, and coins minted during this period carry a deep historical significance. The 1934 wheat penny, in particular, reflects the resilience of the American people during tough times. So what makes this 1934 wheat penny special? First, you might notice it lacks a mint mark. That means this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1934, limited of these pennies were produced. Our particular penny here is in what collectors would call fine condition. That means it shows considerable wear, but most of the details are still visible. Plus, there's some dirt on the surface, something that might lower its grade, but also adds character, showing its journey through nearly a century of use. Now, some of you might be wondering, does the dirt impact the value? Well, yes and no. For high-grade coins, cleanliness and luster are important, but for a penny like this one in fine condition, the dirt mostly tells a story. Some collectors actually like the natural aging and don't mind the tarnish or dirt, while others prefer a cleaner look. Still, dirt may slightly reduce the value, but given that it's still in decent condition, this penny can hold a good place in a collection. Alright, so let's get to the exciting part. What's this 1934 wheat penny worth today? Now, if you have this coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could fetch you a nice sum, but for a penny in fine condition like ours, as of today, a 1934 wheat penny in fine condition, even with some dirt, could sell for around $250,000 depending on the buyer, depending on how the market is feeling that day. Remember, the value can fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and condition. Of course, while it's fun to think about the highest value, coins like this carry a lot of historical and sentimental value too. Imagine, this penny was in circulation nearly 90 years ago, passing through the hands of countless Americans during a pivotal time in history. Whether it was used to buy a loaf of bread or saved as a keepsake, this penny represents a small but significant piece of our shared past. If you're just getting into coin collecting, wheat pennies are a fantastic place to start. Here are a few quick tips if you're hunting for a 1934 wheat penny. Inspect the coin carefully for key details like date, mint mark, or lack of, and overall wear. Look for clean, well-preserved coins, but don't shy away from slightly dirty ones if they have character. So there you have it. The 1934 wheat penny, without a mint mark, may give you a handsome amount. It's a wonderful piece of history that could still earn you extra cash. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, it's always exciting to see what hidden treasures you might uncover. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more exciting coin videos. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest finds. Have any coins you'd like us to cover? Drop a comment below and let's explore together. Until next time, happy collecting.